Hey everyone, welcome to another interesting day on planet Earth. It's certainly been a very interesting few weeks. I don't know how you've been feeling, but I've been going through a massive shift in my physical body that is causing me some pain just on my right side. That's all. And interesting, my husband Brian has some shingles, and that he's experiencing that just on his right side of his body. But I'm not the only one that's experiencing it. I like to, and I get to chat to people all over the world who are also experiencing the same thing, this shift. And definitely here we are in Australia, we're finding that if you go and read the paper or look at the mainstream media in some way, you almost feel like you want to come home and slit your wrists because it just feels like the box is getting very, very, very small, especially where we are located in Victoria. So I was going through this pain, and it dawned on me, a message in my head went, why do you put up with the pain? And I thought to myself, yeah, I've got a really good pain threshold. But why am I putting up with the pain? Why aren't I doing something about it? So I made sure I was stretching, and I went off to the gym, and I had a massage, and I had an adjustment. Nothing was shifting it. And I thought, I'm not getting the answers out there. I'm going to sit down and do a little bit of journaling for my soul. And so that's what I did. I sat down, had a chat with my soul and said, what is it? What's the message you have for me today? And it was really interesting because the words that we used were not how I normally speak. And basically it said, um, my soul said, stop trying to work this out in your head. You're never going to find the solutions out there trying to do it in the doing. You have to surrender to the process and then nurture yourself in allowing the body to be gently able to unwind this. But in the process of chatting with some very like-minded people, including some naturopaths, we came to the conclusion that one of the reasons why it's being held so much in many of the collective consciousness is because has been some dark shamanic work being done into the collective as a frequency, that it's holding the distortion, especially for the physical, in place. So if they are doing that that way, if they're playing the distortion, there is always the reverse to that in the harmony of creation. And this is why many people find Grigori Grabovoi's number sequences and why we use them. And I often post them on our social media group that are relevant for this time. So, when people are seeking the answer in the outer world, they'll look and think, oh my gosh, this is a big topic. Whoever they are is paying a frequency, and now I'm helpless to do something, and understand that is not true. And it's why very much in the New Earth Academy classes we had this week that I took people through the group of how to clear large amounts of information and to get a clear understanding of why certain things keep occurring in our life. I'd love to share that with you today because we're being asked in this time of the shift to do a couple of things. Firstly, this whole shift is about balancing the masculine with the feminine, or the left side of us is the feminine, the right side is the masculine. You can think of the masculine as the physical world and the left side of your body as the spiritual world. And so trying to seek the doing in the outer world is not going to happen until you come into balance, into 0 point, into the calmness within you. And it's in that and an invitation to your body to release any distortion that is being held in there. And just being gentle with yourself. And some gentle type of exercise, if you want to do that, is Tai Chi or yin yoga, or just really surrendering into this present moment and not giving yourself a hard time. So it's very easy to get into the outer world and think, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And that's really not where we are. So let me share with you. Let's share what I went through with the group this week. so you have a better understanding. So just to give you some perspective, the pain of any past events or future events affects us in the here and now. And if you look at it from a perspective of a timeline, just a single line, we don't exist in just a two-dimensional plane. We are multidimensional, but let's just, for this example, we have our past. Most people think of the past just in terms of my past in the life I'm having now. But however, this refers to the past when you first turned up as a spark of light in the multiverse. And then the future being something that we have can't really change. But if we have events in the past, they will affect us in the now and have like an echo into the future. Now you'll see little ink blots represented on this timeline as events, situations where you have been involved or there has been some unharmonious event, some distortion that you're involved in with other people in situations, or maybe it's just yourself. And this sits as a distortion in, not as a wound, but basically as some information about a movie you participated in the point of archiving of your soul. Some people call it your Akashic records. And so how do you know that you've got a wound that's affecting you now? Well, what will happen is people's situation in the outer world will show you the very thing that you are wounded about. And until you get to see, actually, there's that part inside of me. And not only that, this is showing me the part of me that has been created to serve me in some way. So when you can create the balance of it and see, okay, I can see the drawback, but I can see how it's actually benefited me, and you learn to love it, then you bring it into harmony. Now, we do this with using some of Grigori Grabovoi's number sequences or geometric forms. So we're playing with basically the fabric of our reality of time and space. And what happens is, once we can identify that, then it makes it a little bit easier. So let me take you through this a little bit more. But first, I want to share why it's affecting us in the here and now. Because we don't live in a plane of just two dimensions. We live in a toroidal field, which means the past is flowing into the moment of now. The future is flowing into the moment of now. And both of them flow into now, right into this moment. And so we're always being affected because we don't live in a static world. We live in an energetic world of things moving. Energy is always constantly changing, the law of conservation. And so it's in the center of the toroidal field, in the 0 point energy, in the place of unconditional love, in the stillness, that we gain the wisdom and have the opportunity to play with the ether, to play with the field where we get to change and create, just like the Prime Creator does. So here's the tool I took our group through this week in our New Earth Academy classes. It's for clearing high volumes of information. So let me give you an example. Whenever you're working with a tool, whether it is number sequences or a geometric form, we always need to give a very clear objective to what we're going to do. Not only does that satisfy our left brain, but it also is acting the same way as the Prime Creator is, where he's using the harmony of elements of harmony, for instance, geometric structure, which is a harmonic example of harmony in creation. But say, for instance, we're using a sphere, which is the perfect harmony, and we give it an objective, we tell it the sphere what we want. So in this case, it's saying create a silver sphere in front of you and label this sphere the filter of the creator. And so it's like a directive, I take this sphere, this is the filter of the creator. Then the next thing is I create a second small sphere, and the color can be silvery white as also, or if you see a different color in your consciousness, just allow that. And then when you've created this small sphere, you're going to label this too, give it an objective and say, this small sphere is all of humanity. Or you can talk about clearing the distortion of pain out of the collective consciousness, or clearing all situations that cause pain. It doesn't mean that you have to dive in and understand exactly what the situation is. You know there's pain happening in the collective consciousness, emotionally, mentally, physically. There's lots of examples of that. So you don't need to get into the events and pull it apart, because that's a very left brain thing. So once we've created our task, our aim, our objective, we are doing this for the rescue and harmonious development of the planet and humanity. That's our macro part of our control, one of the reasons why we're doing it. And once we've stated our objective, then we start using the sphere. So we've created the filter of the creator in front of us. Now we're going to take the sphere that has the collective consciousness in there, or humanity in there, and we're going to run that sphere through the filter sphere, just as it is in this image here. And we're going to keep doing that until we notice a shift. Now, the shift of notice as we're moving it through the filter is, you may see then a very bright white light at the end of it. Or for you, people that are more sensitive, you may take a breath or feel like something shifted in you. For me, I have the reverse, like an impulsive light that comes back to me, and I take a big sigh, and I know, I have a knowing in my heart that it is done. So this is very much playing with your consciousness and then playing with the fabric of time and space. So what happens then as you move the sphere through the filter sphere? What we did in the class is set the objective, move the sphere through the first sphere, and then spent just a minute thinking about our objective, because by doing that, we sent a standing wave of consciousness, like a command into the field. And then not only that, we wanted to notice any images that came into our imagination, into our consciousness. We wanted to notice if we felt anything happening, a shift happening in or around our physical body. And after about a minute, then we shifted on to the next filter. So same process, take the small sphere again that we label the collective consciousness or humanity, and we ran it through the second sphere, and again spent a minute there just holding our objective. Like, this is what we're really clear of. It's we're, erasing or removing or clearing the distortion of pain out of the collective consciousness. And then again, we took a moment to note a good minute to notice what images and also anything we felt. And it wasn't until we got to the third sphere that when we did a debrief at the end, that people started to say, I really noticed something happening after the third filter. So it'll be interesting to see what you experience. And then I took them through the subsequent filters, and I left it up to the people for their imagination, for them to notice, because some people experienced something after 6 filters and some needed a little bit more. But you just keep going until the filters, till you notice that there is a bright light or a golden light there, or you have a shift back in your physical body. Now, if you want me to take you through it, I will do it very quickly for you. I'm happy to do that. So what happens if you just bring your awareness back to the here and now? And just be aware of your hands on your lap, your bottom sitting in the chair, and just take a big cleansing breath in, that filling up your belly area, and release, filling up your belly area again, and release. One big breath in. And this time, when you release, just say to yourself, I release and let go of anything that no longer serves me. And just take your awareness back to your body and notice, is there any tension or tightness in your physical body? And just say, I release it, I let it go. Now we move on to our control using these consciousness creator tools of Grigori Grabovoi. creation. And in front of me, I create a silvery white sphere. And I label this sphere as the sphere of the filter of the prime creator. In the light and rescue of all, I'm in spirit. I see and act as the creator sees and acts. Rescue and harmonious development for the planet and all of humanity. I take a second small sphere and I label this sphere removal of the distortion in the consciousness of humanity. And I take this small sphere and I place it, run it through the first filter. Just be aware of what you may be feeling in or around your physical body. And be aware of any images. Don't try to decipher them, just be the observer. If you are unaware of any images and you're starting to get into doubt or whether you're doing the right thing, just repeat your objective, which will keep you focused, as it sends a standing wave of frequency into the unified field, into the information field, the nets of the earth, the matrix of the earth. Now we create another filter and we run the sphere through the second filter. Again, just observe, notice, be aware, or feel. Now we move on to the third filter. Again, run the sphere with your objective through the third filter and just observe, feel, or sense. And repeat the process with a fourth filter, fifth, sixth. Keep going until all the information which is contained within this small sphere looks to you like an illuminated light, golden light. This means our practice, our control has been realized. It's definitely done on the spiritual level, and understand that information creates light, creates energy. So sometimes there is a little time before you notice results. I'm going to allow you to keep continuing that if you are still harmonizing, if you're not sure if you're seeing light or not. Just simply ask yourself a question. Has my objective been harmonized? Yes or no? And almost before you have finished asking that question, you'll get the answer. When we finish our control, I send a light impulse from the area of my heart, and I send an impulse of light of the Creator, and I fix the result according to all parameters of creation and on all levels of reality now and for all time. 8, 8, 9, 8. So just be aware of how you feel after we have gone through that control, through that process. And basically, you can use that for anything that you're wanting to clear when you have a high volume of information, a lot of information. And that can even relate to the physical organism as well, where you're experiencing some pain in some way. But it doesn't need to just be for pain. It's for anything that you'd like to apply. So I hope you enjoyed doing one of the processes that we go through in the New Earth Academy or in our training. And really, it's about discovering your consciousness, the different areas of your consciousness, and how to play, how to learn how to become a master of playing with this fabric of time and space, how to be able to harmonize events, situations, your physical body, and really starting to access those areas of our consciousness that we were never taught in school. So you can think of this as like the school of eternal development, hence what we call it the New Earth Academy of Eternity. All right, everyone, be gentle on yourself. Balance those masculine, feminine, spiritual, physical. Be gentle on yourself. Just know that humanity and the planet has already won. And most of all, disconnect from the media, disconnect from other people's opinions, and disconnect from any distortion that is trying to take you off your path. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.